I didn't want to fucking pressure you to come on last week after a loss. I'm like, I know how that feels.
No, man. Oh, man, it's good, bro. Like, we good forever, my boy.
I used to hate even talking to my, people I liked on Tuesday after a loss. That fucking shit sucks.
Yeah, it's how talking about a win, talking about a win, like talking on a podcast after a win is always good too, bro.
It's always much easier.
At this point, I can really do it. Like,
yeah,
I can really do it whenever, man. Cause I prepared during the week, right? So this is my mindset now, right?
Yeah.
During the week, I do as much as I possibly can to have success during the game. Like, I don't leave any stone unturned. Like,
yeah,
I watch film, I practice hard, I go to treatment. I like to focus on my mind. I focus on my mindset going into the game. I do everything that I possibly can to win the game. So when I go in there and I have success or I don't have success or we win or we lose, like, I'm at peace with whatever it is. Like, so I'm not about to have it linger and, like, I'm not about to wear this on my body. And you got kids and stuff now. Yeah. You got kids and stuff now. Like, I can't walk around and be sad because I lost a football game.
Well, that's a good place to start because, like, I always talk about this after a loss. It's like a sadness contest on the fucking plane after some losses. People got to be. You can't smile on the bus. You can't. And what's done is done, man. 24-hour rule, but like, it's time to move on. And ain't no use sulking after a game, like, and trying to win a contest to see who looks the most miserable to the coaches and that type of shit. The thing I'm talking about too, right?
You don't want to sulk. You don't want to sulk, but it's like a weird space that you're in after games, right? You don't want to be overly happy, gambling. You know what I'm saying? Like, doing all this stuff because you want to really, you want to think about that loss because you don't want to feel that shit. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Losses, like, nobody wants to accept a loss. Like, you want to be reflective. You want to be thinking about, like, what did I do in this game to have success? Why did we lose? Like, how could I have helped out more? Like, you want to be in that mental space. But at the same time, like, I don't want to be walking around with a frown, like, cussing everybody. Like, you don't want to be in that space either. So it's a fine space that you want to be in. You don't want to be too happy, but you don't want to be walking around sad and upset either, though.
And that's another thing, dude. You wore that Beyonce gave you give me the background on this thing. I saw it this morning and I'm like, the background for people listening is Vaughn had on what looked like a spacesuit to me. And I always tell this story whenever we were on a live watch recently. I told people this story. The first time I ever met Vaughn was, I think I was at Rehab, which is the pool party in Vegas. And I'm like, there's a fucking astronaut here. It's 100 degrees out. There's a fucking astronaut at the pool. And I walk by and the guy puts his helmet lens up and it's Von Miller. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. This guy is out here, dude. So it reminded me of your Rehab get up. And I guess Beyonce sent you an outfit. Tell me how that came about.
Yeah, man. I just, honestly, I came to my locker one day. I didn't know it was coming. I had no idea that I was going to have this outfit. It was a box in my locker. Open up the box. It's all this reflective stuff. I use a reflective bag. I go in the bag and it's a sweatsuit, some pants, and some shoes, and a note from Beyonce, and it's Ivy Park. So I was already familiar with Ivy Park. Like, I know this is Beyonce stuff, and I'm like, hey, like, I'm gonna wear this. Like, first of all, like, I like wearing stuff that'll stand out anyway. And coming from Beyonce and Adidas, like, I'm gonna rock this shit for real. Like, I'm gonna rock it. And it's just in my mind, like, I feel like I can pull off a lot of shit. Like, I can, just in my mind when it comes to fashion, like, when I saw this, it's from Beyonce, from Adidas, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna rock this shit. I didn't know it was gonna have, like, the traction that it did, but, I had to rock it, man. It's from the Queen, for sure.
See, you're different. Yeah, no, and I bet you there's a lot of moments in Von Miller's life when Von Miller pinches himself like, this is reality, dude. Beyonce's sending me something in my locker and shit like that. I mean, it's crazy, man.
I play for the Buffalo Bills. Like, it's not the biggest market. It's not a New York or Dallas or LA. And I'm getting gifts from Beyonce and Adidas, so it was like, man, you gotta take advantage of that, man. And I rock that shit, man. I rock the hell out of that outfit for sure. I think it's only got one life though. I don't think I can run it back.
Yeah, you can't run that back. You can't run that back, and you have to win when you wear that outfit. I know, like, you probably feel like we've already talked about this. When you lose, like, fuck it, it's over and everything, and the hay is in the barn, as we would say. But Like, you wear that after a loss out to the bus. It's like when Burrow rolled up the other night to play the Dolphins in that suit. I was like, oh, they're winning.
Yeah.
Like you're burning the ships wearing that outfit, dude.
No, you can't. You can't go out there and lose. Like the traction that it had for a win. Like if you lose wearing some shit like that, like
yeah,
that should have run. That should have run for days. Like you would be a meme. Like you would be a meme for. Like you'll be a meme forever. So it was a little risk taking it, man. And I'm fortunate like that we were able to get the dub for sure.
Man, me and Lane were ready to get crying Jordan when we threw those dog masks on. Had we lost to Atlanta? Had we lost to Minnesota that year? So I know exactly what you mean. Probably not on the scale of wearing a spacesuit. That was dope, but definitely drew some attention. This weekend, man, I want to talk about this game. Incredible goal line stand. I mean, just what do you see out there when those guys, you knock it down on first down? The play of the game was the second down play. Mm-hmm. 93 blew that whole shit up.
Yep.
I mean, how encouraging is that from your group?
I'm on the sideline, and here with the Bills, like, I feel good, and I want to be out there. Like my whole career, I've been playing like 90 to 85%, like right in there. All the big time moments, I'm on the game. So it was weird to be on the sideline and like watching, like, and I trust my coaches. I trust Coach McDermott. I trust Coach Frazier. I trust Coach Washington. But deep down in my heart, it's like, bro, like I need to be in there. At the same time. Like, I trust my teammates out there, too. It was Shaq Lawson and Greg Rousseau out there. And I trust those guys. Those guys have been making plays, since forever. So, at the same time, you want to be out there, but you trust the players that's out there, and you trusting the coaches to, keep you healthy. So, I'm sitting there watching, like, chomping at the bit, biting my nails. And, we have a big-time play on second down. Third down, I think it was incomplete. And then fourth, they going for it on fourth down because I'm looking like, okay, I like to think in situational terms as a pass rusher. Being in the league 12 years, I'm like, bro, they should just kick the field goal. They kick the field goal. Now we got to go down there and kick. It creates a tighter game, and then you start thinking like they're slow off the field. I'm like, bro, they're gonna go for this shit. They really about to go for it. Like it's Lamar Jackson. Like I see that too. But if they don't get this, like. We still got to go down there and we can kick a field goal to win it. So we get some pressure on him. He's running. He throws the ball up, and like Jordan Poyer comes out of nowhere.
Bro, he was on the end. I keep saying he's on the end in Ravens, dude.
Bro,
what a play!
He came out of nowhere. At least he ran about 20. He ran about 20 yards for the interception. Ran 20 yards for the interception. He intercepts the ball and there's no better feeling than to have the momentum change. But I'm experienced enough, and I've been around for long enough. Like the game isn't over. Like we're still. That's been one of my messages to the team. Like don't blink. So I'm still thinking like we're still in the fight. We're gonna have to go to overtime. Defense is still gonna have to win it.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, he does his thing. We get a roughing the passer call. It advances us. We get down to the goal line, and I'm still thinking like, bro, they got Calais Campbell. Mm-hmm. He's blocked like 20 field goals like in his whole career. Like. We got to get this thing through the uprights. They do a quarterback sneak. Instead of Josh scoring, he kind of holds himself up, and he just gets on the 1 yard line to get the first down. They run the clock out, kick the field goal, and that was it, man. It was a crazy environment to come back by 17, man, and to win, man. The shit was dope.
Well, it was awesome, and wire to wire, like you said, like you can never relax. It did help to get the pick because, I didn't hate Harbaugh going for it in that situation because I am afraid of your offense, right? I'll admit it. I'm not playing, so I could admit it. If I'm a Raven, I'm like, let's get this 6. But it's the pick that kills them, right? Because then, then you're not pinned back on the 1. You guys get the touchback. You're out of the danger zone offensively. So I thought that was interesting at the end of the game. And Harbaugh's a big analytics guy, but he always takes context into the equation, which I think is the smart way to do it. You talked about your snaps, and I'd been there. Certainly I wasn't you, but, late in my career, I wanted to play in every situation. Like I was used to playing, especially when you got in the league and especially when I got in the league, there wasn't as much rotation, period. And they weren't taking care of vets on year 10, year 11. You've played about half the snaps this year. I know some of the games have spiked up north of 50%. I know it's harder when you get older because you want to do everything. Does it make you feel better physically? Do you feel like you need to set up rushes more? Do you get frustrated with not getting in a rhythm? Because I used to get frustrated not getting in a rhythm because you're like, okay, yeah, my body feels better, but I might rather be feeling a little bit shittier to be able to set up this big rush in the fourth quarter and get more reps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all pass rushers, they have like all the greats have a setup, and it's really the game within the game.
Yeah.
And sometimes you might set up this move, especially versus the good tackles like a Lane Johnson or Tyron Smith or Trent Williams or Trent Brown. Like, it's gonna take you all game to really set up this pass rush. So it is it's like a learning curve. But when I'm out there, what I say in my head is shoot the three. Like,
yeah,
I'm shooting a three. Like, every single time, like, I'm out there, I'm shooting a three. I'm going for it whenever and then sometimes they might leave me out there a whole series, and they might rotate the young guys and just let me get into it, especially earlier in the game. So when I come into a game, I'm James Harden. Like, I'm pulling up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving them everything I got. Like, I'm running to the ball. Like, I'm doing everything I possibly can do at the beginning of the games. Instead of, like, holding back that 10%, I'm leaving it all out there at the beginning of the game. And I feel like that it's a different space to be in, but I've been getting mileage from it. I got 3 sacks in 4 games, and, I feel great. They still giving me Wednesdays off. So,
what a blessing.
I'm playing 50% of the snaps. I get Wednesdays off. When I practice Thursday, I still don't practice the full practice on Thursday. The majority of my time, as you can attest to this, the majority of my time off the field is going back into my body, whether that's Epsom salt, whether it's dry needling, whether that's getting this workout in, whether it's working on my starts, whether it's working on my pass rush move. The majority of my time when I'm at the facility and when I'm at work is really just trying to recover. So I feel great when I go in there. I'm not playing as much. I'm not getting those little, let me knock on wood, I'm not getting those little nicks and bruises like that, throw your pass rush off. It's still early in the season, but, Coach McDermott and Coach Frazier and Coach Washington, they're really doing a good job, which I didn't really trust it at first, but, being into it, man, like, I trust those guys and I feel great.
That's a hard thing, like when you're an older vet and and you're not like old yet because you don't play like you're old. I mean, you're 33, right?
33, yes, sir.
Signed a 6-year deal, so that begs the question: how long does this guy want to play? Holy shit! But you just had McVay. He took care of guys. I heard from Big Wit and stuff. It sounded like lovely out there in LA. So you want to go somewhere, especially you're going to a colder climate. You're playing on a turf field, which we talked about. Like, you go from a division that's got 3 grass fields out of 4, right, in the NFC West, which is a thing of beauty. Because I share the same sentiment as you. We should be playing on grass. Not just for the big non-contact injuries, but because it's a fucking attrition on your body and your joints. But then you're headed to Buffalo. It's cold. You get this coach. He looks tough as shit. He's never smiling. Like, you figure maybe he doesn't give you a rest. So it's nice to find out you're going to have Wednesdays and that sort of thing. That's a big mystery when you're doing that dance in free agency. You don't want to sound lazy, but you're like, are you going to take care of me? Because I'm this is my business. My body's my business.
One of my big things was not being able to play with Aaron Donald. Not being able to play with Aaron Donald, because I could have easily rode off into the sunset and brushed with Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd and Greg Gaines. Like, we had already had it. And when I first got there, when I got traded, I was talking to Aaron Donald, which he's been to the Pass Rush Summit, and I already knew him. I was already familiar with Aaron Donald. But when I was there, we started talking about football, and you can just, like, see it and feel it. It felt like me and DeMarcus all over again. Yeah. So one of my biggest things was not being able to play with Aaron Donald and not being able to have that, because I don't care who we got, like, and that's not knocking my teammates that I'm playing with now or anything like that, but it's just Aaron Donald. So I come here and they tell me about Ed Oliver, which I was familiar with him. They talked to me about Boogie Basham and AJ Epinesa and Greg Rousseau, and we had signed Daquan Jones and Jordan Phillips. Yeah. So I was like, okay, we might not have Aaron Donald, but we definitely got a lot of dogs. Like, we definitely got a lot of dogs. And they were telling me, like, okay, the Rams had the number, they gave the second most vet days in the NFL. Do you know who number 1 was last year? And I was like, no, who's number 1? He was like, us. We gave more vet days than any other organization.
Where do I sign?
I was like, what? I got my contract in front of me. And I'm like, damn, like, do I really want to do this? Like, it's LA. It's March, and this shit is cold. Like, it's not snowing, but it's still cold. I just came from the Bahamas. I was in LA. Like, I'm like, bro, do I really want to do this? Coach McDermott comes in, and he was like, hey, like, I was sitting in there for 30 minutes, and he was like, hey, like, We don't need you to come save us. It's not that situation. We want you to come here and be you.
Yeah.
We're not gonna mutt you out. We need you to come here and be Vaughn on the field and off the field. And we heard about you off the field, how you are in the locker room. We need that Vaughn. And I'm like, hold on, okay, yeah. At this point in my career, all I want to do is win games, and I want to be in positions to rush the passer. We got Josh Allen. We're gonna have leads. I'm gonna be able to rush. We're gonna win games. I don't like playing on turf. That was one of the knocks, but I was like, man, I can. I'll be able to do it, man. I signed, man, and honestly, coming here every day, coming into the facility, like the infrastructure with the Buffalo Bills, from the cafeteria ladies to the janitors to the media guys to the strength and conditioning coaches to everybody, man. They're all about positive energy. They're all about how could I put Vaughn in the best situation for success. And even though it's not LA, it still has that same type of vibe where they care. They care about you. They want to see you win. The fans here, Bills Mafia, is like incredible, man. And I definitely didn't make a mistake, man. And I'm fortunate I was able to, to really put all that stuff out the window and sign on the dotted line, man. And I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be a part of Bills. I'm happy to be a part of Bills Mafia, and I'm happy to be a Buffalo Bill for sure.
Have you seen somebody in person get thrown through a table yet?
No, I haven't. But after that Rams game, my cousin, he came to the game. They were leaving. He's like, bro, the Bills fans are crazy. Any table that they see, and I thought they set the tables up and they just break them. But any table that they see, like leaving these stadiums or whatever, they breaking it. Like especially after wins and stuff. He's like, bro, the Bills fans are crazy, man. And it feels good that you got these guys rooting for you, man. And we were in Baltimore. About 40% of the crowd was Bills fans. We went to LA to start the season off. Half of that stadium was Bills fans. Like, man, this community wants it, man. They want to see a championship. They want to see wins, man. And I'm gonna do everything in my power to give it to them for sure.
So we talked about field surfaces. How about rushing in the rain? I always get this question. Does it affect you as a rusher, and how?
I feel like if the field is beat up, yes. It's just like rushing in snow.
Yeah.
If the field is beat up, then it's just certain stuff that you can't do. That little speed up the corner and cut the edge and like rip and come around the corner, it's not going to be there. You kind of, and then for the offensive lineman too, it's not going to be there. The anchor's not going to be there for speed to power. A left to right like cross chop is not going to be there. So I honestly feel like depending on the surface, the way you rush has to change for sure.
Right.
I think those sloppy games, those snow games are more built for speed to power guys that can go and power pop and snatch guys off. I like to think as a pass rusher, I can do a little bit of everything.
You can.
When speed is my game. Speed is my game. Long arm, that's my game. But you have to be able to do a little bit of everything in this league because we play in rain, sleet, hail, snow, windy. We play in all these environments, and you want to be a pass rusher that can have success in any environment. So you got to have one or two tools in each environment. But when it comes to turf, you want to play on turf when it's rainy.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to move.
Yep.
A good grass field would be good too. But, at this point in the season, a lot of these fields are chewed up, but grass is always going to still be grass. That is the number one option. But, rain or snow, a turf field would be good. You can hold up going around the corner. But any day for me, like I pick grass over everything.
Me too.
It doesn't matter if it's chewed up or not. Like I just love grass. I love the way it feels. Like when you fall on it, like when I'm coming around the edge, whether I slip or not, you can always put like detachable cleats on to help you out. So I'm always vote grass 100%.
Yeah, you're right though. It is a power guys, game when it's wet out there because both guys, offensive tackle and defensive end, are losing a little bit of traction. So if you bull pull somebody, if you can get in somebody's chest and you got a great long arm, like that's the one thing people think about. Oh, Vaughn's ghost move and all this stuff, and yeah, that's cool, but I don't know what that feels like, being able to do that. I know what a long arm feels like, and when I see you sink a long arm into somebody's chest, you can really appreciate the power. Is the long arm more about body positioning? Is it timing? Is it accuracy?
I like to play the game within the game. So, I always like debrief on my rush that I had before. So if I'm trying to run around a guy and he's pulling his hands back, it tells me that he's not really worried about my power. Like he's not really worried about the speed of power. So even though I'm not the strongest, even though I'm not a Khalil Mack or a Cam Jordan or any of those guys that's just going to run through your chest and run you straight to the quarterback, I still have to be able to do it just to throw them off. And I think the element of surprise is really what opens it up for me, because I've been doing speed, and now I'm going to go stutter, long on to the chest, and I might go speed to power. Even though I might not win, it's just to give this. I want the offensive lineman thinking about everything. With me, I'm just thinking about 1 or 2 moves.
Yeah.
But for him, I want him thinking about speed to power, long arm, speed, spin. He might run a text game. He might run an exit game. I want those guys thinking about everything. So when I do hit the stutter speed, I can be around them by 1 or 2 steps. So I want these guys thinking about all type of things. But for me, I want to be thinking about 1 or 2 moves, and that's speed, stutter, swipe, speed, long arm around the edge, and all those other things like the ghost and the spin. All of that stuff, it just really stems off of those 2 moves.
How fucking hot was it in Miami, dude?
Man, it was hot, bro. It was hot. But, with me being in the league 12 years, like, I prepared for that game. I got an IV. I got, I went to the facility. I got an IV during the week.
Yeah.
I stayed there with my salts. And honestly, it's not all about fluids. You got to eat too, man. Like,
you do.
You got to eat like real meals. And I know sometimes on game days, guys kind of like take a step back. But you got to like eat. You got to put those carbs in the night before.
Yep.
You got to put those carbs in the day of. Like, you got to eat and drink to play in those hot games. And I had long sleeves on out there, and our offense was on the field for 93 plays.
That's the killer. The TOP was crazy.
Yeah, they were on the field for 93 plays, and I think we played 40. Like, we played right at 40 plays. So that third quarter, I'm on the sideline. Like, I'm getting up. I'm like warming up. I'm like, man, I feel full. I feel like I'm overhydrated. Like, I gotta warm up and stuff. So, everybody out there came to play, whether it was the second string wide receiver, third string wide receiver. We had Reggie, our fullback. He played fullback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end all in that game. And it just shows you the type of guys that we got in this locker room, man. And
yeah, because Miami's a good football team. We've learned that so far. But, like, as far as a loss goes, I said this on this show. I was like, that's not a plane you're on the way home from beating each other up over. I mean, you guys are down to the nub in multiple position groups. It's 120 degrees out there. You're playing a good football team, and you lost the game. I mean, you're going to lose a fucking game, dude. It's better get punched in the mouth the first month of the season and see how you respond than December. So I thought that was a good, if there's any such thing as a loss that doesn't piss you off, it might be that one. And I feel like you guys got to feel good the next time you play them.
Yeah, a loss every now and then. Of course, I want to win. That's just how I think. I want to win every fucking game that I play in. I feel like I'm going to go undefeated every year. Yeah. But a loss every now and then, bro, is good medicine.
Yeah.
We lost the last game of the season to the 49ers when I was with the Rams last year. And I think that was it. We went from being a number 1 seed to the number 4 seed. And I think that loss, like, really put us in check. Like, man, like, if we don't come out here and do everything that we possibly can do to win this game, it is a chance that we lose. And we had like a 4 or 5 game win streak going into that loss where, you kind of get away from like, man, we can't lose. And I think a good reality check every now and then is always good for good teams.
Let's talk about young rushers, man. I mean, there's a lot of exciting young rushers in the league. Are there any that catch your eye? I know you've been a mentor to guys in Buffalo. I mean, I really love Chubb. He's one of my favorite young guys to watch. You've mentored him in Denver. Who do you like watching? Who jumps out at you on tape?
I think number one, it starts with me with Micah Parsons. Like, I like Micah Parsons a whole lot. I like Bradley Chubb, of course. Greg Rousseau is incredible. Alex Highsmith is incredible. I like all of these guys, man. And just to be a part and like give like little knowledge, man. Like that's what it is for me. Like, guys don't have to like, come to the Pass Rush Summit or when a guy hits you up and like ask you like, what was I thinking on this, or like, I just like being a part of it, man. When you're 12, like, and you've done everything that you possibly can do to, whether it's contracts or stats on the field, like, bro, I just want to be a part of other guys' careers. Like, that's all it really is. I want to give back to the game that has given so much to me. Man, I've seen guys do it before me, from Elvis Dumerville to DeMarcus Ware, and I'm in that same position now where I'm just giving the knowledge back and I'm just paying it forward, man. And it's a true blessing to really be in this situation for sure.
Yeah, can you imagine not wanting to help a young guy out? Like, there's got to be some. I know there are, and I'm not, like, I don't have anybody in particular, and I understand, like, when we got in the NFL in 08, and for you it was like 11, or,
yes,
but, vets were different. You know, like vets were these big, grumpy old guys, and they'd seen it all, and they didn't want to give rookies, you know, a piece of the pie early, depending on the place you went. And then part of that made you better because it humbled you, like, oh, this motherfucker doesn't want to talk to me. I guess I got to earn it. But I really do think, like, in today's NFL, if you're not helping young guys out and you're denying, you know, them the opportunity to get better with what you've learned, like, there's something wrong with you. Yeah. Like, somebody 100%. Did it for you, man. Like, don't be insecure.
I feel like it's some type of insecurity there. I definitely feel like that. I definitely feel like it's some type of insecurity there, and that's understandable. Like, you're watching this young guy pop off and, like, you know, I get it. Like, you know, everybody thinks different, but yeah, for me, I'm at peace. Like, I'm not really on social media like that. Like, I'm not looking at who's one or who's two. Like, I'm looking at myself, and I'm trying to get the most mileage out of my game. You know, and I'm trying to impact the game, and I'm trying to leave my stamp on the game, whether that's talking to guys, whether that's doing a pass rush summit, whether that's, you know, continue to get sacks. Like, I'm looking inward. Like, I'm not like looking at everybody else to see, like, dang, he's a little bit faster than me or this. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to see how can I improve? How can I, you know, give a little knowledge? And I think that keeps me at peace. You know, it really does. And like you said, when you came in the league, it wasn't like that. But when I became a captain with the Denver Broncos, the first thing I wanted to do was take away the rookie stuff. Like, there are no rookies in the league. Like, we are all pros. And when you don't go to the playoffs and when you're not winning games, like, bro, we need this rookie to come in here and be successful. We need this. Yeah. In Denver, we had a lot of rookie quarterbacks, or a lot of young quarterbacks come through there. Like, I don't want to treat him like a rookie. I want to treat him like a pro. I want to treat him like Peyton Manning, because that's how I need him to perform. That's what I need him. That's the type of mental space where I need him to be at. You know, I don't want to, like, be playing these mental games. Like, go get me Popeyes before the plane, or
the Popeyes. By the time I got old, I wasn't eating Popeyes on the plane anymore because I actually had to watch what the fuck I was eating.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't want to do these. I don't want to do these guys like that, man. I want to treat those guys like pros, because I want them to go perform like pros, and I think that's where it started with me.
Like, you're going to need him in the fourth quarter on that goal line stand. Like, you're going to need the backup safety or number 93 or the kid who tips the pass and you end up with a pick earlier in the game. Like, you're going to need those guys. If somebody don't want to get his fucking hair cut, I mean, I'm not going to be the guy fighting a rookie who's probably hungrier than me, stronger than me. Man, I'm not going to be fighting Josh Sweat because he doesn't want to cut his fucking dreads. Like, who am I, dude? So, yeah, somebody else can do that bullshit. But, you know, I wanted to ask you about this. We do code breaks on this show. Dominique Robinson, who's a good young rusher in Chicago. Nobody's going to watch him play because the team's not very good, but he can rush. I guess he had a sack or two week one against the Niners, and we know Trent Williams is the best in the game. Him and Lane, to me, best in the game. He gave up a tell on Trent Williams. He's like, well, anytime he had his heel up in the air, I know to do this, that, and third. I think that's a code break. I think it's hustling backwards for him because he might see Trent again. And two, some of your D-line brethren want to get in on this fucking on this little tip on Trent Williams. So when you get a tell, you definitely don't share it with the public. Do you even share it with other people in the room?
I share as much as I possibly can with my guys. Like, you know, and even, you know, the occasional, you know, offensive lineman, like, here and there. Like, you know, I would share, not when I'm playing. I just feel so comfortable, like, in my game. Like, I would never put it in the media. But then again, that could really play, because when you got a Trent Williams, I don't think he really cares if his foot is up.
He doesn't give a shit.
Down. Like, I'm sure he can tell you his pass. Like, I'm sure he can tell you before the play is passed, and he'll still be able to do his job.
Hey, kid, I'm deep setting.
Yeah, like, I'm sure, like,
I'm going to shoot my inside hand now.
I'm sure, like, Trent, you know, it's not really as big as, like, you know, we make it, especially with the good guys. Now, you got some fish now that, you know, really show it. Like, you don't want to give those tips away, man. You just want to, you know, let it be what it is. You just want, like, all of your guys to get in on it. And I do a good job of, like, sending text messages to guys. I hit guys up before I play them, like, hey, like, so Justin Houston, of course he's not going to tell me nothing about the Ravens, but, you know, we played the Dolphins before, and they played the Dolphins before us. So I'm asking them like, hey, like what, like, do you have any tips like this and that? You know, I asked Matthew Judon. They just played the Ravens the week before. You know, so I got like a little, you know, I reach around and I pass out knowledge too. That's what we do. I hit up Cameron Jordan, like, you know, whenever, you know, that's what the Pass Rush Summit is for. You build like these relationships with all these guys, and you know, you pass around information. But I never give it to the media. And at the end of the day, these guys are grown men. Like,
yeah. These
guys are grown men. You don't want to ever motivate a guy like to play more than what he normally would do. Like, that's not smart. I'm not a big bulletin board material guy. I'm not a big trash talker. Yeah. You know, I don't like to get in there and like really just talk crazy to a guy to get him to play to a level that he wouldn't normally play at. Like, I don't really do too much talking at all. Like, when I'm out there, I want guys to just go and do what you do.
But you got to switch, I'm sure. What's your biggest pet peeve? Like, that somebody's just going to, like, you know, this is going to flip Von's switch and now you're going to get 5 sacks instead of 3.
If anybody talks trash to me, which I really get, like.
Yeah, you really get that, I'm sure.
Anybody that like talks trash to me, like, I really like gets that. Anybody that's doing like extra shit after the play, like, I get it. Like, offensive lineman, you want to finish through the whistle.
Did they ever get back to you in the chip conversation? I felt like you made some really valid points. I got on there and was talking about it, and I was kind of like ambivalent about it, if that's the word. I was like, man, I got chipped really fucking hard a couple times in my career. Yeah, it hurt like a motherfucker, but it's part of the game, right? And then I heard you talking about it, and my wheels started spinning. I'm like, it's the only play in football that you're allowed to launch into somebody's head where that player is unprotected, and you know, nothing ever happens. In fact, we celebrate it. Yeah. You know, like, I don't think Leonard Fournette got fined, and that's a fine line I want to walk, complaining about offensive players doing shit, because I hated when we got fined because somebody in the media was talking about it. Yeah. You know, I hit a quarterback too high. Trent Dilfer circles me on Monday, and then I get a check for $20K, you know, because I hit Josh Freeman in the head. So, like, I thought it was that you had some valid points. I thought people had valid points. Has the league in any way, like, reached out to you? Have you talked to anybody about that?
No, I haven't really talked to anybody, but I'm sure like a change it has to come. And you know, I think at the core of this conversation is we want this game to be as safe as possible. Like, I want my son to grow up and I want him to play this game, and I want to still have life, and I want to still like evolve. Like, you know, one of the dark spots on our league is it is a violent game. You know, you get concussions, you get hurt. You know, it's all type of things. It's a dangerous sport. But to that note, we want to make it as safe as possible. I think a tight end motioning in and hitting the guy from the outside, that has to be out. Mm-hmm. If the guy's already stationary on the line of scrimmage, or you motion him up and he's stationary, that's good. You as a pass rusher, you have to be aware, like,
you have time to see him.
Yeah, that he's here. But if you motion the guy in to chip you from the outside in, and I'm rushing up the field, like, that has to be out. If he's stationary on the line of scrimmage, it's all good.
It's like the Thibodeau play, which, you know, I felt bad for him, but I also am like, at least we have a chance to see that split zone. Yeah. Like, and you know these guys go low. Is it cowardly?
You gotta have your hands ready.
Yeah, we know. Like, you know, but like when we can't see somebody coming, that's where we're supposed to be protected. So I thought, like, man, I know you're doing some media stuff now, sort of. I was like, you're ready. These takes have been on fire, dude. The chips, the grass fields. Like, Von's got some quality takes out here, so he's ready for the next chapter in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years.
I appreciate it. And another thing to that field stuff, like, English Premier League, all the fields are grass.
Yep.
La Liga.
Yep.
Like Barcelona, FC Madrid, like Real Madrid, like all of those fields, like, are grass fields. Yeah. When those guys come to America and they play in our stadiums, they put grass over the turf.
Yeah.
And I'm sure owners they can come up with some type of argument that says, like, turf is the same as grass, like. And I'm sure as players, we can come up with an argument that says grass is safer than turf. At the end of the day, you got to listen to the quarterback. You got to listen to the quarterbacks. You got to listen to the big name players. You got to listen to all the players in general. Like, you know, if we're saying, like, hey, grass is safer, grass feels better, like, you got to go with that. I love SoFi. I love the Rams. Like, I love everything about LA. But it was just shocking to me that SoFi was a turf field. Bro, like, the best stadium in all of sports. Like, the best stadium in all the sports, foreign, like, here, like,
I don't know.
It is the best stadium.
I don't know, bro. What about the new Vegas stadium? What about the new Vegas stadium? That thing is fucking sweet to look at. Cool.
It's cool.
I've been in the club down on the field, like watching a game where you motherfuckers are out there busting your asses, and I got a bottle of fucking, whatever it is in there. That's a pretty sweet stadium too. Now
it's a cool stadium, and I'm sure like it can be an argument made, but I'm telling you, so far when it's state of the art.
Yeah.
It is the best stadium that we have, like in all the sports. And LA is close, and
you
got a lot of Vegas is close. You got a lot of stadiums that's close, but that field needs to be grass, like and I'm sure people will fight me on it, but that's just my take on it. I know the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, is that turf?
I think it's turf. Yeah, I played there, didn't I? No. Yeah, I haven't played there. That we just missed them. I just missed that stadium, but I think it's turf. But Baltimore changed the grass. That was a big victory for us.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. They actually went back the right direction. And I hope if the Bills ever have a new stadium, they go to grass. I know it's fucking shitty to take care of grass up there, but look at all these golf courses all over America. How the fuck we can't? Yeah, they could do a great job with a football field. All right, so a grab bag real quick before we get out of here, man. The streaker last night, not a streaker, not naked, but somebody who's running on the field. I know you probably watched the game. There's some great pass rushers out there, but Bobby Wagner. Lighting this motherfucker up, holding a pink canister of smoke. Vaughn, are you putting effort into lighting this guy up? What's your policy on people running on the field? Do you just like to sit back and watch, or do you want to get in on the action, Terry Tate somebody?
I just sit back and watch. Like if anything, it's a break for me to catch my breath. Yeah. Even when we catch interceptions and they run to the end zone, like I'm never the guy that's running down there. Like I'm not about to exert all the energy to do that. Like,
dude. When they were taking pictures, they were taking all the pictures in the end zone, and dudes are like sliding in the end zone and like laying on their back and doing a group picture. Like I was at the 40.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing that. But it was cool to see like him get laid out. But not me. I'm a chill and sip on some of this water, man, until they get it done.
You got to stay hydrated, man. And then the last one, man, the triangle. I heard you break it down somewhere else, but I want to hear it straight from you. I thought it was dope as fuck. A Dark Side of the Moon fan, Pink Floyd fan here. I thought maybe for a second you were a Pink Floyd guy, but it's got a whole deep meaning to you. And it kind of, earlier when you're talking about growth and maturation and just kind of being at peace with yourself, like how important is a concept like that, and how important is it for you to work on yourself off the field spiritually?
It means everything. And I think at this point in my career, I've been in every single situation that you can possibly be in on a football team. I've been a young star. I've been a young shithead. I've been injured. I've had season-ending injuries. Honestly, my hair doesn't even grow like that everywhere else.
That's
in the
true.
back,
That's true. We're all hanging on, dude.
In the back, it grows like that's where I got the good hair. I had the triangle. I looked it up one day what it meant, and it all just kind of chose me. It means, growth, manifestation, positive energy in nature and in the world. Like the triangle always symbolizes longevity from the pyramids to, throughout the course of history. And honestly, it started off with a haircut, and then I started doing research on it, and the triangle represents who I am.
Yeah,
I'm all about positive energy, manifestation. I'm trying to manifest a Super Bowl here in Buffalo, and everything that the triangle symbolizes, bro. It's me. And to see Bill's Mafia get their haircut and everybody.
I was gonna say, dude, you probably got a bunch of guys getting triangle haircuts up in Buffalo.
Man, it's cool, man. Because at the end of the day, you want to just be yourself, and when people embrace you for who you are, like it's super cool.
Have you bicked it? Have you done the LeBron yet?
No, I haven't done it. I'm at peace, man. I'm hanging on.
You are so at peace, bro. You're gonna have a horseshoe, bro. You're gonna be the OG with the horseshoe, man.
With the triangle in the
on
back.
Your horse farm in Texas with the triangle and the horseshoe. Yeah. Vaughn's Vision Foundation provides Denver children access to free eye exams and glasses. I think it's awesome, man. You're a great dude off the field. The people that know you know that. Tell us about your foundation and the work you do.
And before I get started, man, you are too, man.
Thanks, bro.
Some of the stuff that you did with Water Boys, right?
Yeah, man.
And all the things that you're doing overseas, and here too, man. It's incredible, man. And,
thanks, man.
I just follow guys like you and Tim Tebow and all the guys that before me that have really had a huge impact on their following and their fans, man. I'm just trying to do the same. I started Vaughn's Vision in 2012. after seeing Tim Tebow do some of the great things that he did with the Tim Tebow Foundation.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not Tim Tebow. I'm not building, hospitals in the Philippines and some of the amazing things that he's doing. So it took me a year to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. I've had problems with my eyesight and glasses throughout my whole entire life, even since I was a little boy. And I was sitting signing autographs one day. I took off my glasses, and it just hit me like, I want to start a foundation that gives back glasses, contacts, LASIK surgery, eye exams, pretty much everything to do with eyesight and kids in need. I want to just create a avenue for those guys. And it started off to help out kids in need of financial support. Then it kind of evolved from financial support to confidence. You know, it's a lot of guys that wear glasses. It's a lot of kids that think glasses are cool just because I wear them.
Yeah.
You know, so
dude.
it's a confidence element, it's a financial element, and for it to go 10 years, man, it's incredible, man. And we've narrowed it down to $20 put glasses and lenses on a kid's face. So got a great team around me, man, and it's not even me at this point. I got LeBron James and Michael Jordan and Shaq and Kobe on my team, man, and it's really just grown to a place where it has legs and feet of its own. So I'm truly humbled and blessed to be in this situation, to use my platform, for positive. And Uncle Ben said it best on Spider-Man. He said, "With great power comes great responsibility."
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to do my part to, help everybody out.
You're damn right. Uncle Vaughn, man. Hey, dude. Vaughn, appreciate the time. One of the best on and off the field. And Greenlight's going to make a donation, too. So we appreciate you coming on. Thanks for the time, my dude.
Hey, I appreciate you, my boy. Thanks, Chris. And whenever you need me, my boy, I got you.
Okay, bro. Hey, go get that fucking trophy, man.
I got you, bro. Love
All right?
you, man.
You know how to do it. Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.